Hello and welcome to Season 2 of The Dutch Oven. I've got bigger glasses that make it hard to breathe, and I've got a really cool interview, so without delay, I'm joined tonight by infamous mafioso, known also as the boss of bosses, Gianmarco Soresi. Hello.
I'm honored to have my Italian be highlighted more than my Jewishness for a second.
Dear God. That's not who you are.
No, that's stand-up comedian. My dad always told me as a kid, he said, don't ever join the mafia. And I was like, I don't think they're recruiting at Kyle's bar mitzvah. But ultimately, sure, comedy and mafia, they used to be very intertwined.
Absolutely true. Yeah, you kind of had to be a little bit associated to get access.
Yeah, but you could get hurt. You had to be good, because if you joked and it was the wrong way, they'd kill you.
Oh yeah, nothing like today.
Nothing like today. Everything's good now.
Everything's great. Well, I guess if you're not a mafioso, then some of these questions might not make all the sense. But this one still does. You come from a country with a fascist dictator.
Sure.
Is gallows humor helping?
I think so. I think it can be tough only because, like, with a lot of liberal comedy, it can feel like it's just blowing off steam, and it always has to be in the service of supporting the opposition, which is the Democratic Party. And I think there's so many problems with them that I don't know. It's just had a corrosive effect on comedians. I think the late night TV people, they just have all gone kind of soft.
Oh, for sure.
And they just harp on Trump, and it's hard. You have to decide. I just think you ultimately have to influence people by being funny first, and hopefully have your own ideals behind that. But I would be leading with ideals in a way where no one's watching anymore, and it's not having any sway. So that's where it feels right. Like I'm trying to be pointed towards every direction I can.
Yeah, fair.
And sometimes people go, oh, well, don't pick on, Jon Stewart talked about Biden being old a long time ago. People were like, hey, knock it off. And sure enough, it was a real disaster.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gallows humor can be helpful for sure. But you're going to the gallows, so you better be ready.
Yeah, honestly. Another question that might not make as much sense now that you're not a mafioso. You talk a lot about therapy. Were you inspired to get into therapy by Tony Soprano?
No, but I did think that was closer to the therapy experience than some.
Sure.
Still, there was some problems that they had he wanted to sleep with her, and it was which maybe too. I get that. I saw my therapist more as a replacement for my mom, which who knows what's more toxic. But yeah, I think that's beautiful about Sopranos, to try to be guys who go to therapy. Unfortunately, it did not end well for his character, so I don't know if it had the opposite effect.
My buddy John runs a comedy night called Cheaper Than Therapy.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. So is that
No, comedy's not therapy.
No, it doesn't work like
therapy is therapy, and it's a delicate art, and it can be abused, and it can be done poorly, and I don't really trust ChatGPT, which is fucking up all sorts of things to understand the nuances of humanity.
Yeah.
And it's like everything else with AI, where it's part of it is that therapist not agreeing with you, maybe making a mistake, maybe understanding the human being. That is part of the experience itself. Yeah. So I do worry about that becoming the replacement for the therapy.
Yeah.
Even though there's a lot of bad therapists too. But I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I don't think ChatGPT has to take a vow of ethics or anything,
Yeah, and it just can't. It's not necessarily looking out for what is it decided your best interests are. Algorithmically, it goes how often you say you're happy, or that you do X, Y, Z. It's just not human at the end of the day.
No, absolutely no empathy. Would you ever want to live abroad yourself, or have you?
I never for a long time. I travel so much. I do fantasize about it. I was thinking about Amsterdam I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, it's so beautiful here. What if, and as I'm talking to her, 3 people on the street were like, shh, you're talking loudly. And I thought, maybe not. Maybe not Amsterdam. Yeah. I think like I am loud and rambunctious and rude and lack manners in a way that I was annoyed at them for telling me to talk more softly. But then I go, but that's why it's more peaceful here.
Ooh.
But I'm not like that. And yeah, I just think it's hard because I visit places briefly. Mm-hmm. I have incredible meals for the 2 days that I'm there. Yeah. And I go, wow, this city is incredible. Yeah. And I don't have to deal with the shit. But today was day 3 in Amsterdam. That's why it's day 3 where I'm like, excuse me. And there's a confrontation. And I go, okay. Yeah. It's got ups and downs.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. And today you finally got some nice weather. It's always nice weather in Amsterdam. Like,
yeah. It's beautiful here. I mean, it's a stunning,
it's gorgeous city.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
I want a vacation here for sure.
Yeah. See, other than volume of speech, what else have you noticed about Amsterdam culture that might be different to back home?
I just think it's like everyone feels so peaceful and calm, and they bike everywhere, and it's like quaint if they're going to, they're biking and they're holding food on this side or signaling. It just feels like you have to interact with each other on a much more regular basis.
Oh yeah.
But it's also that like, my hotel, the Wi-Fi didn't work, and I had wished there was a little bit more urgency about that. Yes. And I go, that's not what they do here. Urgency is not the thing.
No.
So I just don't know what like going to the doctor would be like. I feel like if someone's house sets on fire, they probably just let it burn.
Ooh. I will say there is kind of a stereotype of Dutch doctors where like no matter what you can have cancer and they'll just give you paracetamol, which is like ibuprofen but weaker.
Right. I buy it.
Nice. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsor.
In a world with a dead rock and waving high, silence is golden and snoring kill.
And welcome back. Are we at a time in our culture and politics where like the line to be considered leftist is just not being a dick?
I think to a degree, and ultimately you have to expand your reach to make political influence possible. So I sort of don't get a claim to be any kind of expert on leftivism, but I do think you want to grab people's attention with the things that are upsetting them, especially in America right now, whether it's undocumented immigrants being torn from their families. Like, you grab that energy to go, look, there's a better way to do this.
Oh yeah.
Before you inundate them with kind of all the things. But I feel hopeful of that kind of thinking growing and people being more upset with the powers that be. But it's hard. I feel very cynical about the Democratic Party ever being like, not one of the 2 primary parties.
Sure.
And then the ability to influence it feels so small.
Yeah.
And as much as I hope in AOC,
hell yeah,
victory, but then it's just how do you balance the heartbreaks of like the decisions you'll have to make that don't feel as leftist and taking the victories with the losses of.
Sure, absolutely. I guess compromise is something, but I think that maybe after, I mean, we're already at this place only like 6 months into the new term of Trump.
Sure.
Like, we still have 3.5 years, and we're already at like the end point of what I would have expected.
I think we see I mean, it depends on what happens in California. It's like there's these protests. How bad does it get? Do they back off? Do they go forward? I think I like to believe that there's an American stubbornness or an American, like, we value our freedoms in a way, and I don't just mean, I mean all of us, where if it hits too far a point, there's a snapback.
Oh, hell
And
yeah.
I like to believe that Americans have that in them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you see those French protests sometimes, and you're like, we're capable of this. It just, I think we've had it a little soft for a long time. That's so
true.
But not right now.
No.
You know, California just went through these fucking. I always joke about how, like, California, I'm too depressed for Los Angeles. The comedy is too dark, and I'm like, I bet you not anymore. I think between the fires and these raids, like, it's gonna change what that place is.
Yeah.
And I hope for the good of people.
Yeah. We're going to have like the rage against the machine of comedy and media and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could do the voice of any animated character, who would you choose?
I would love to do like an anime, just because I grew up on it. Doing dubbing isn't necessarily fun because you have to match it with the mouth moving. But I would love to do some character of Dragon Ball. Even though I don't love the new episodes, it would still be cool to do that. Or if Yu-Gi-Oh ever came back, or Pokemon, something that I would feel like I would have watched as a kid.
Yeah.
Something where I can fight and go, rah!
Yeah, the big dramatic.
And in the booth being like,
Yeah. So nothing cutesy. We want to be in action.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Until I lose my voice after one day, I go, this is too harsh.
Badass. So when are we gonna get to know the real
I try to bring him out. I think ultimately, what is the real me? Is it the way I respond to someone on the street telling me to talk more softly on the phone? Is that the real me, or is that just a piece of me? I think people get a certain degree of realness. I strive for it.
Only reason I ask is because you actually are a rather authentic person. I think in your
Try.
between the podcast and the comedy on stage.
Sure. I think it's more like, can you maintain? Can you hold on to it? As you know, I think like I got to talk about my family in a way that was unique because some people can't talk that honestly or harshly about their parents.
Yeah.
And I could, because my mom has a dark sense of humor, because my dad just doesn't pay attention. But I say things about my dad that most people go like, I can't have my dad hear me say that.
Yeah.
And so that gave me an ability.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't think I have that same freedom with my girlfriend.
Yeah. Fair.
You know, I think more than most, because she's a comedy manager. She understands. But there's also some topics that I wouldn't even discuss.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, how many of those fights do you have? How often do I go to her and say, hey, I know you told me not to talk about this, but I worked on it at a stage in Amsterdam. In my mind, sometimes being international, I'm like, let me try that. It's Amsterdam.
Dude, that is awesome view.
Some people cheat internationally, Addy. I tell jokes I should.
Slip those in.
And I think if she had to pick one of the two, I think I'm doing the preferred.
Yeah, nice one. My buddy Steve, who was like my main partner with the comedy videos I used to do, he had like the 10 commandments of comedy, and number one was like, you don't make comedy for your parents.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree more. I know some people who, you know, their parents just too much a part of their lives.
Yeah.
And I think it hurts their voice.
My parents did eventually find the fake commercial for a portable glory hole that we did. It was a yo-yo mat with a dick hole cut in it, but
Right. Yep. I know what a portable glory hole is.
I've been wondering, what's the square root of 7?
2.6457. And then there's some more after that, but
There you have it. He's a fucking math genius.
do you say math Jew? I heard
Genius, math genius. Actually, that kind of brings up one of the other questions I had. So Nathan Fielder famously created Summit Ice, a outdoor apparel company that also educates about the Holocaust. If you were to start a brand that would also include Holocaust education, like what kind of product would you want to put out there?
That would include Holocaust education. Let's see. Oh my God. Let's see. I'm trying to. I guess it would be some kind of train set.
Oh my fucking God. Dude. I really loved Dave Attell's special that was all Crowdwork. And that was kind of before like the rise of Crowdwork with, you know, that Rife kid and other wonderful people like yourself. How do you feel about Crowdwork? Is it ever scary when you get up there?
Oh, always. I mean, sometimes I go through periods where I can't seem to do it, and my manager once was like, "You should do a Crowdwork special." And it was really like I was like, I can't guarantee that it happens. The idea of like going up and being like, "This is all going to be Crowdwork," is extremely daunting and scary. If I'm on a show where that's like the premise, and you go up and each do, that's okay because you're all kind of in it together. But just Crowdwork is very, very scary. I mean, it's exciting to do. I always have to try to reinvent what is it that I want to talk about. Sometimes it's just whatever happens, but other times I'm like, I'm working on talking about male friendship. So like right now I start with like some guy, how many good friends do you have? And then name them. And then usually from there something emerges. And sometimes I go through periods where I'm like, you know, let me have a couple hooks of, and I want it to be relevant to what I'm talking. I don't want it to just be like some crazy icebreaker question.
Sure, you're steering it. This almost sounds like cold reading that like a psychic would do.
Of course, I think cold reading and Crowdwork have a lot in common. It's just like we're trying to get a laugh. They're trying to get a hit, which makes you cry or both. Whoa. So I think I've always wanted to, I don't think I have the chutzpah to do a cold reading, but part of me wants to, or break down how it's the same.
Yeah.
Because psychics do comedy clubs sometimes too in his states, and I'm like,
Interesting.
there's something I want to do with it. I should appear in the
I would recommend Darren Brown's book, Tricks of the Mind, I think is what it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's a good one. Darren Brown's the shit. All right. Well, before we go, is there anything you'd like to promote?
Listen to my podcast, The Downside, with Gianmarco Soresi. And I tour all the time, so just follow me, and I'll be where you are someday soon.
Yes. You can be funny and be friendly. There's proof right here. Gianmarco, I'm really grateful you took the time, man.
Seriously, over here.
Yeah. Check his workout. Do it now. Thank you so much to Gianmarco for his time. That guy is a lot of fun, and he has a special coming out on YouTube as well. So make sure you don't miss that. Check it out. And I'm about to make the easiest declaration I ever could, to be serious for a moment. The Dutch oven stands against any and all genocide, current or past. That's it.